What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the UFC show. Let's get into it. We got a awesome card to cover from the UFC 274, and then looking forward to a great UFC Fight Night Vegas 54, which is going to be Blachowicz versus Rakic, which is going to be a great fight. We went 4-1 on the UFC 274 one pay per view. We had to sub out a pick because who was it? Oh, Cerrone was violently ill with food poisoning. Could not fight, so he had to pull out. So we had to replace that pick on Twitter that day with Blagoy Ivanov. He won. I can't remember who was our lone loss. I'm gonna just look at it real quick. I can't remember if it was if we had Fernie Garcia. I can't remember who our first one was. Shogun. Rose Namajunas was our lone loss. That was who we had as our only loss. But yeah, had a heck of a run that night. Actually, I should just probably check my Twitter feed because I have all of my picks posted on that post-it note per usual. We have Fialo by knockout to win, Cerrone to win, but he was not on the card, so we replaced it with Blagoy. So yeah, we won with Fialo, then replaced Fialo or replaced Cerrone with Ivanov. He won. OSP won. St. Preux, Thug Rose lost, and Oliveira won in dominating fashion. So it was a great night, And then Mother's Day, was Sunday. So me and my wife, I got her a TJ Watt jersey signed for her Mother's Day, the shadow box and everything. So I got to put that together. And then I got shit for our garden. So all of our stuff for the garden is in and planted. We've got, I want to say 10 or 12 tomato plants, 7 cucumber plants, 4 peppers, so 2 jalapeno, 2 ghost peppers, 12 heads of cabbage we planted, 8 Brussels sprout plants, and then I have 4 spaghetti squash in there as well. And then we still got a little chunk of the garden, so we'll have probably something else that we're gonna add in there. Don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll put something in there, I'm sure. Onions, who fucking knows? The possibilities are endless. And then we're gonna probably put some fucking potatoes in a planter or some shit. We got it on lockdown. We're growing our own food out here. We're homesteading out in the city, But let's get into this card here. I have very little left in the can there. We'll be drinking a Smirnoff Smash Pink, which is the pink lemonade. I thought I'd give it a swirl tonight. It looks good, so I don't know how I'm gonna do with the carbonation, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to get it down. Then we'll get into this damn review. Salute. Don't forget our sponsors, Glitch, energy drink. Also Jolly Mac Coffee. and all of the people that support Hashmark Sports, the listeners, the viewers when we have them. Salute. Let's start this fucking review. All right, so we start out the night with Journey Newson versus Fernie Garcia. Fernie Garcia, I think he was the favorite in this fight. Not didn't really go very well planned for him. The veteran Journey Newson was able to kind of take care of him. I missed probably the first 3 fights of this card because I was just cleaning out my garage and stuff too on Saturday. Then the next fight was Lupi Godinez versus Ariane Carnelossi. Lupi won this one by decision. She was the favorite in this fight, so not too much to say about that. I mean, she went ahead and took care of business. Then we had Clayton Rodriguez versus Vergara. I know Rodriguez was a big favorite in this one. It ended up being a split decision between him and Vergara. Vergara ended up winning this fight. Then we came to Tracy Cortez versus Melissa Gatto. Tracy Cortez won this fight. She's a very good grappler, very good striker. She's a pretty good fighter. I mean, I was gonna bet on her, but I just had not. I didn't have any. I was kind of cleaning out the garage and listening to the fights, so I didn't really make any bets on any of these first 4 fights. Then the main event of the early prelims was Andre Fialo versus Cameron Van Camp. Fialo was a big favorite on this, minus 410. Van Camp was plus 310. Fialo is an animal, dude. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite fighters right now. He's fought 3 times in a short amount of time. Came in on his debut on short notice, short fight camp. But I picked out that he was a heavy-handed striker, and he's proven that. I mean, he's in his first fight. Like I said, he basically won the first round. His opponent figured him out in the second round. And in the third round, he just, it was all heart because he looked like he was fatigued. Ended up losing his debut, but he's getting back. He's getting in the cage as often as he can. He wants to. I think after he knocked out Cameron Van Camp in this fight, he said he wants to fight in Singapore when they have the card in Singapore. So he wants to stay active, and that's great because I like watching him. He's a great fighter. Knocks people out. We go into the early prelims, or not the early prelims, but this the regular prelims here. We had Ivanov, who was one of our fighters that we had on our official picks. We replaced him. We had replaced Cerrone with Ivanov against Lima. This one was it's a good fight. Ivanov won it, but Lima had several times where he threw combinations and landed and just it looked like it hurt Ivanov, but Ivanov pulled out the decision victory there. Good job, kept me at 2-0. And then we had Brandon Royvall versus Matt Schnell. This fight, I thought Schnell was going to win. Schnell had him down, and next thing you know, Royval has him in a submission. I can't remember what the official submission was. I know, I don't want to say it was triangle, but it could have been. It'll only take me a second to find what it officially was. Guillotine. Yeah, that's right. He got a guillotine on Schnell, and yeah, it was Schnell. It looked like Schnell was beating him, and then all of a sudden, Royval was losing that fight, and then he got that submission in. So kudos to him. Macy Chiasson versus Norma Dumont was the next fight. Macy ended up winning this one. It was a split decision. Chiasson was the underdog here. I don't remember much from this fight. Just that Chiasson won. I kind of think I was cooking dinner around this time, so didn't pay attention much to this fight. Then we had Francisco Trinaldo versus Danny Roberts. Trinaldo ended up winning this by unanimous decision. He was the slight favorite. This was basically a toss-up fight. Both guys could have won. I know Trinaldo was he was the older fighter in this fight. He fought very well. He would get tagged with some punches and then just throw right back at Roberts. And it was a great win for him. He stood in there with the younger guy and traded. Like anytime that Roberts was engaged by Trinaldo, he kind of just backed off. So then we had Chaos Williams versus Randy Brown. This was actually this was an awesome fight. It was a split decision, but I feel like, Randy Brown, it should be unanimous decision. I think Randy Brown had this fight locked down, but I'm not a judge, so but Randy Brown won this. He did everything right to win that fight. So stayed away from Chaos's power, threw some shots when he needed to, did it all. Shogun versus OSP. Shogun or OSP was one of our other fighters that we picked to win. So OSP won this fight by split decision. Don't really know why. I feel like OSP won this fight as well. This is a rematch, maybe, just take a look at the total strikes. OSP landed more, had more significant strikes as well. There's no takedowns. 18 punches is not a lot for a whole round. Basically, they're both throwing about 18. Maybe OSP was running. He was doing about 20 to Shogun's 18. So kind of not a very good fight, but at least it was not as bad as the fight we won't talk about here. But we'll talk about it here in a second. Michael Chandler. I thought he killed Tony Ferguson with that leg kick, but he didn't. It was crazy though. Tony Ferguson looked brutal. I don't know how he even ever got up from that. Chandler though, I don't know if he's ready for a title shot against, Oliveira, but they probably got to put, someone in against Charles soon, but Charles isn't the champion anymore. But then the next fight we had was a very everybody's criticizing this fight. It wasn't a very entertaining fight. I'm a very pro Rose Namajunas person. Just neither one of these girls acted like they wanted to engage. If you look at the stat lines here, I mean, Carlos Esparza had 2 takedowns. It was, 2 takedowns out of 11 attempts. She had 30 significant strikes. Rose had 37 significant strikes. She was 1 of 1 on her takedowns, and then, but it was just, I don't know. I feel like to beat the champ, you need to do more than what Esparza did. But at the same time, it was like, I don't know how Rose, I don't know. I just don't know how she thought she wanted it. I mean, it was both, no, neither one of them did anything. So it's like, you can't say anything. It was what it was, and I'm not going to say anything bad about Rose. Then it comes to the main event where Charles Oliveira just worked his magic again. He got a submission in the first round. Got Gaethje to go to sleep with that rear naked choke. Charles Oliveira got knocked down, and then everybody who knocks him down is very wary to go to the ground with him. So when he gets knocked down, they let him back up, and he proves that. I mean, it was just knockdown. I mean, once he gets knocked down, he bounces right back in, and just does his thing. And he tried to pull guard a couple times. Ended up when he finished him, he landed a good shot, knocked Gaethje on his butt, and then instead of it looked like he was going to punch him, but he ended up grappling in behind him and sinking his hooks in and getting that rear naked choke. And that was the end of 274, and me going 4-1 on the card. So it's close to 5-0, but not quite 5-0. But we try. This next card is going to be pretty good. UFC. I mean, the last few fight nights have been kind of not fights that a lot of people that you really don't care to see, or don't even know who they are, or lopsided matchups. This one seems to look like it's pretty well matched up all around. So on the prelims for this card, we got starting the night out with Nick Maximov versus Andre Petrovsky. Maximov is going to be the first pick on our official card. I feel like Maximov, these guys are both grapplers, so anything can happen. Petrovsky does a lot of these grappling tournaments on the side when he's not fighting. Maximov, though, he's got insane pace, and he can just grapple for 15 minutes, and he's fine. He's one of these guys that he doesn't have to submit you if he feels like if you're gonna be able to get out of it, and it's gonna put him in a bad position. They call it position over submission, and you'll hear it from everybody that breaks down a fight. Position over submission. They'll find if they're in a good spot where they can throw punches, or at least attempt a sub, but if it's not working, they kind of can work with the position. I just think Maximov can out grapple most people. That's why I'm taking Maximov in this fight by decision. So on you should be able to bet this on your sports book. Right now Caesars has it at by decision, Maximov by decision at plus 120. Then we have Tara versus Candelario. Let me make sure it's Tatsuru Tara versus Carlos Candelario. And we had this on one of our other picks a couple weeks ago. We're sticking with Tara on this one. I believe I'm going with Tara moneyline here. It is 260. It's a little higher than we'd like to bet. But this first fight was scratched. It's packed back up for this card. Candelario has experience. Tatsu Tara does not. I think we still pick Tara. He's the better overall prospect. Fought in Japan, or I think it was Japan. He fought across seas. He fought there, and he's coming over to the U.S. to start his career with UFC. Promising prospect. Candelario doesn't have very good takedown defense. I think Tara takes him down. Probably will be a decision win for Tara, but the money line is still probably the easiest bet, because if he takes him down and submits him, you still win. Maybe if whatever you bet on, you can still win a unit or two on it. Then we go on to Verna Jandaroba versus Angela Hill. I'm not going to bet on this one, just mainly because Angela Hill is such she's an enigma. It's like you never know what Angela Hill you're going to get. I think she does have a better striking game than Verna. But if she gets taken down, Angela gets taken down, she could get submitted by Jandaroba. Jandaroba's a very good grappler. But if she can't get that takedown, she's going to get eaten alive by Angela Hill. So this is why I didn't put an official pick on this fight. It's one of those toss-up fights. Jandaroba is the slight favor here, minus 180 to Angela Hill, plus 155. Don't really want to touch it. I kind of do want to see Hill win this fight. I think she's 13-11. Jandaroba is, I think Jandaroba's only lost a couple fights. Jandaroba is 17-3. So I mean, she is very tough. I've seen this girl just go in there and she's usually the shorter fighter, goes in there and just throws like hell. So it's like she knows how to fight. She's had some tough fights, Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Rebus, she's had some tough fights. Her losses are against tough opponents. Angela Hill can be tough. Let's see, Angela Hill's fought some tough women here too. She beat Carlosi. But she's fought a lot of people that are just tough. She's had a rough go. She's had some split decisions here against Michelle Watterson, Gladia Galahea, and Amanda Lemos was a split decision. She lost a unanimous decision to Mackenzie Dern, but she's very hit or miss, Angela Hill. So she very well could beat Jandaroba. That's why I'm kind of staying away from this fight. Let's see. Next fight is Michael Johnson versus Alan Patrick. Again, this is, I mean, Johnson is the favorite here, but Michael Johnson is just, you don't know who is going to fight. It's the good Michael Johnson or the bad Michael Johnson. He's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He can be one of the best fighters or he can be absolute dog shit. Just I don't want to pick him because he's had some people that he should beat that he lost to, and some people that he lost or people that he should have lost to that he beat. I am gonna stay away from Michael Johnson because of that fact. Then we have Viviane Arago versus Andrea Lee. I'm not picking this on my official card. I do lean more towards Arago. Arago. I don't know how you pronounce it. Just because I think she's the tougher fighter here. They're both similar in striking. Viviane does take a little bit more punishment on the striking. She is slightly better at the grappling, but it's too close of a match. On this, let's see if they got the odds on this one. The odds on this one is basically a toss-up. You have Arago, who's plus 100, Lee she's minus 120. Toss-up fight, kind of hard to pick. So going on to the main card, we've got Jake Hadley versus Alan Nascimento. Hadley, this is Hadley's UFC debut. The thing about Hadley is he's kind of a fucking prick monkey. Everybody in they've just had a bunch of problems with his character and just him being difficult and shit like that. It's like, Hadley's a wrestler. He's another guy he just likes to kind of go out there and wrestle and stay in good position and hold you down. Nascimento, on the other hand, he's given some good grapplers problems, so he's not so bad with his grappling. This is where I'm going to pick my first dog of the night. And I'm going to pick Nascimento to beat Hadley at plus 180 for the money line. So far we've got Maximov by decision plus 120, Tara money line minus 260, and then we're going to go with Nascimento here on the money line for plus 180. Chukagan versus Rebus. Chukagan, that's my picks. Okay, yeah. Frank Camacho versus Manuel Torres is after Hadley and Nascimento. Camacho and Torres, this is going to be a barn burner. So it's one of those fights where they're going to come out and just swing for the fences. I believe this is Torres's debut with the UFC. Let me see. Yeah, his last fight was the Contender Series, where he won his fight by TKO. I think this isn't gonna be on my official card, but I think. Goodness here. I mean, do you give it to a guy who's got the experience? They both got about the same reach advantage. Camacho is a guy that is trying to knock you out. Let's see, what's Torres? Torres is a mix between knockout and submission. He's got 5 knockouts, 6 submissions. If I was gonna bet this fight, I mean, which I'm not because it's not on my official card. I think there's significant strikes per minute. Six punches for Camacho. Torres 11. Significant strikes. The edge goes to Torres at 59%. Camacho 46%. Camacho does absorb a lot of punches, so Camacho does try some takedowns. I just think this was a hard one to pick as well. The lines on that aren't out on on the UFC.com, so let's just check the app. So this one's basically a toss-up as well. Torres has the slight favorite minus 130, and then Camacho is plus 110. Kind of a toss-up between these two guys again. So it's hard for me to pick one. Do you go with Camacho, who's been with the UFC before? Probably. Then the next one on the card is Caitlin Chukagian versus Amanda Ribas. This one is on our official card here. We do have Chukagian. We are going to take Chukagian on her money line here. Minus 190. Chukagian, she's a contender this weight. She's fought a lot of tough people at this weight. Chukagian's a contender. I mean, she has fought Jennifer Maia twice. She's fought this Viviane Arago. She lost, and her losses are to people that are very tough. So she lost to Jessica Andrade. She's lost to Valentina Shevchenko. Jessica Ai is very tough. Liz Carmouche, who was she fought for the title. Just she's lost to the people that are, pretty, tough. She has wins over Alexis Davis, Joanne Wood, Jennifer Maia, twice. So she's beaten some good fighters, and she's lost to the ones that are elite. So she's a contender at this weight. Ribas is coming up a weight class. The other thing that I noticed about Ribas on her fight record is she's not very active. She's 11-2, but since she's been in the UFC, she fights about 1 to 2 times a year. She fought twice in 2019, fought twice in 2020, and fought twice in 2021. I don't know if that's her doing, but I imagine she could probably fight more. 2 or 3 times a year. If you're a contender, you should probably fight about 3 times a year. Or if you're like, if you're inside the top 15, I would say, or top 10, I would be fighting 2 or 3 times a year just to kind of get up the rankings to get a shot at the title. Ribas does have some wins. She has a win over Mackenzie Dern, one of Mackenzie Dern's few losses. Beat Paige Van Zandt, who's no longer with UFC, but Paige has kind of went on a losing streak. She's 8-5. She at one time in the UFC, she was the top, like one of the names to know, But since then, Paige hasn't really done much. Her UFC career, she's lost to Rose Namajunas, Michelle Watterson, Jessica Rose Clark, Amanda Ribas, and Amanda Ribas was actually her last loss in the UFC. All right, so we're gonna take Chukagian on the money line there. I feel like she's probably the better suited. She's been at this weight for a while. Her only losses are to the elite fighters of this weight class. Ribas is coming up a weight class. I think it's going to be a whole new ball game for Ribas at this weight, and then Chukagin's already been here. So, yeah. After Chukagan, we have Davy Grant versus Louis Smolka. Davy Grant's a plus or a minus 300 favorite here. Smolka's plus 235. Just I don't know what to think of Smolka. You know, he's a who's he fought? He's fought. I know he's fought Sugar Sean, lost to Sean O'Malley. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of he had to have been one of his first fights, right? I thought he fought Smolka, but it doesn't say on his record here. Tim Elliott. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But I thought he fought Smolka. But anyways, I just don't know what to think of Smolka. And then, you know, he's got most of his wins. They come from a mix of knockout and KO. 6 of his fights have been by decision. 2 wins by decision, 4 losses by decision. He's got 7 wins by submission, 3 losses by submission, 8 wins by knockout, and only been knocked out once. His last fight was the knockout against Vince Morales. So just didn't have a good read on this fight. I mean, I know that Grant is the favorite there, but it's just something. It wasn't one I was really confident in. Then we have Ryan Spann versus Ian Cuccillava. Didn't have a really good read on this fight either. Cuccillava is the favorite here, minus 220 to Ryan Spann at plus 180. Just thought I would have a pick in the main event here instead of, you know, picking you know, a fight there, and having to pick, you know, because it's minus 220. We could do money line, but or like pick how the method of victory, but we just decided to go with the main event here and just look at kind of Rakic versus Blachowicz. You know, Blachowicz, you know, he's the former champion and got submitted by Glover Teixeira. But this fight's a tough fight because Blachowicz, his last fight, I mean, he's a guy that's beat Israel Adesanya, who's one of the top pound for pound guys. He's beaten, you know, the toughest guy in the UFC, in my opinion. So that makes him one of the toughest guys, right, by default, but not according to Glover Teixeira, you know, because Glover beat him. But you know, he's been in the UFC for quite a while, since 2014. Had some ups and downs here. You know, he's lost to Jim Manawa, Corey Anderson, Alexander Gustafsson, Patrick Cummins. He's lost to Thiago Santos. He lost to. I mean, he avenged his loss to Manawa. He's beat Jaron Cannonier as well, so he's fought some tough people. He beat Luke Rockhold. Avenged his loss to Corey Anderson. Beat Dominic Reyes. And then, beat Israel Adesanya. On the other hand, Rakic, he's been in the UFC since 2017. Only has one loss in the UFC, and that's to Volkan Ozdemir. It was a split decision, so it's one of those fights where it could have maybe went either way. Volkan's, he's gone on to lose to Jiri, who's fighting for the world championship, and then Ankalaev is a grappler like no other. This is a tough matchup to bet, and you look at significant strikes. Blachowicz, obviously has more fights, so landed per minute, they're 3.59 for Blachowicz. Rakic is landed per minute is 4.23. Their significant strikes landed are pretty close, 52% for Rakic, 49% for Blachowicz. They both absorb about the same amount. 2.23 for Rakic, 2.79 for Blachowicz. It's really, it's gonna come down to who's the better striker, and I just don't know. I think Blachowicz, I don't know how you say it. Losing to Glover Teixeira just kind of has thrown me. So that's why I feel like, if anything, they're going to try to get someone else up there at light heavyweight to fight Jiri, probably, because I think Jiri's going to win the title. So they'll probably have, Alexander Rakic would be a very good fight for Jiri, I think. 28-9 is the record for Blachowicz. 14-2 for Rakic. They both have the same reach advantage. I just think that Rakic will be the winner here. We're gonna take Blachowicz, or not Blachowicz. We're gonna take Rakic to beat Blachowicz. He's minus 190 for the money line on Caesars, and that's who I would pick. And that's gonna conclude UFC Vegas 54 card. So we have Maximov by decision at plus 120, Tara moneyline minus 260, Nascimento moneyline plus 180, Chukagan minus 190, and then Rakic at minus 190 as well. Both money lines there. So if you are like me, you're probably watching The Ultimate Fighter, Nunez versus Pena. And last night we had the fight between Helen Peralta, Caitlin Neal. So Helen Peralta and Caitlin Neal fought in this episode. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Ultimate Fighter, the new episode up on Tuesday, Caitlin Neal wins the fight. How she wins the fight, I don't know. She got one takedown in on Peralta, then would push her against the cage. Peralta would fight out and get position again. Peralta landed way more punches. Just looked like the better fighter than Caitlin Neal, but Caitlin, I think, she is going through some sort of adversity, where she's fighting, or I think her father passed away, or maybe it was another fighter, but it's like, are they doing this for ratings, or do they think she actually won the fight? Because in my opinion, it's 30-27 or 29-27 in favor of Helen Peralta. No other way, in my opinion. And I just don't get it. If if we're really wanting to find out who the ultimate fighter, the true ultimate fighter is, you have to have. I think Helen Peralta's there. I think she beat Caitlin, and I don't know. Someone explain it to me how Caitlin won. I think it's easily 30-27, 29-27 Peralta. But it is what it is. Next week we got Stipe versus Muhammad Usman. I think that'll be a good fight. Stipe says that Usman has been ducked him in a fight already earlier in their careers. Stipe's talking a lot of trash. I hope it gets into Usman's head, because like I feel like what he's saying is true. Muhammad is following his brother's coattails. He's riding along on the coattails, using the name, getting the fights, and that's about it. I mean, I don't know. I just hope that Usman does not win this. But who knows? I'm tired. So that's gonna conclude tonight. Happy betting. Remember, don't make the bet because we say so. Make the bet because you believe so. That's Hashmark, baby. Taking over in the 2022. See you guys. Have a great one. Hope you enjoy the card this weekend.